Hello, my name is Rip Snow, and I'd like to spend a little time today speaking with you regarding the I am statements that Jesus makes throughout the Gospel of John. They're very significant to me, specifically because 35 years ago when I became a Christian, I became very interested in apologetics. And it didn't take very long in the apologetic enterprise for me to learn that there was a lot that was very opaque in the New Testament until I learned how to read Koine Greek. So I embarked on that journey. And what was interesting to me about the I am statements is they are opaque in the English Bible. The one in John 8:58 is very obvious. Before Abraham was, I am, and the Jews all picked up stones to throw at him. Why? Because he's making the statement that he's declaring himself to be Yahweh in the flesh. Well, they understood him clearly. I get that one, but the rest of them were hidden until I saw in the Greek text how many times it is Jesus simply says the same thing, ego eimi. The English Bible has it as I am he, but that's not what the Greek holds it to be. That was significant for me because I was dealing with cultists, occultists, atheists, agnostics, people of all manner and stripe for whom that evidence that could be derived from the Greek language New Testament was very important to have at my disposal. But this was bigger than that for me. The I am sayings point back. They point back to a moment wherein God utters, at least in my mind, one of the most profound things in all of the Bible. You know the story. Moses is at the bush. He's being commissioned by God to see the Jews released from slavery. Moses is going to be the deliverer. And in this conversation where God commissions him, Moses has some questions. And one of them is, okay, when I go back to Pharaoh and to the Jews, they're going to ask me who it is that sent me. What is your name? And in the Septuagint version, you have this uttered, the Greek translation of the Hebrew. Ego eimi hoon. Literally, I am the being. That is so deeply profound. It's telling us something about God's nature. First thing it's telling us is He's the ground of everything. Everything is contingent. God is necessary. That's one thing it's telling us. But it's also telling us something else. His necessity flows from the fact of His aseity. That is, He self-exists. He needs nothing. There's no antecedent to God. That is so profound. So when you come to this text in John 18, you find Jesus saying the same thing. Let me read the text. I'll begin reading in verse 1. When he had finished praying, Jesus left with his disciples and crossed the Kidron Valley. On the other side there was an olive grove, and he and his disciples went into it. Now Judas, who had betrayed him, knew the place because Jesus had often met there with his disciples. So Judas came to the grove, guiding a detachment of soldiers and some officials from the chief priests and Pharisees who were all carrying torches and lanterns and weapons. Jesus, knowing all that was going to happen to him, went out and asked them, "Who is it that you're looking for?" "Jesus of Nazareth," they replied. "I am," Jesus said. And Judas was standing there with them, and when Jesus said, "I am," they all backed up and fell down. Now, the first thing that strikes me is personal. I love it when God does stuff like that. That's the first thing. But the second thing that strikes me here, and I think it's really where the message that emerges from this text, everything that happened to Jesus from the time that John baptized him until the time he went to the cross, he allowed. Why? Because this is Yahweh in the flesh. This is the maker of the universe standing there before them in the flesh, and nothing they could do to him could happen without him allowing it. That is so profound to me, and all of that contained in those two little words, I am. Thank you so much for your attention.